Bitcoin gets down to this kind of 20% level, every time it's got here over the last, well, since Bitcoin started, it's basically done something between a 70 and 200% rally. And Solana's version of that is volatility down at 50%. Every time it gets there, it has a huge rally. So it feels like it's so close.
Yeah.
It bounced, Solana bounced off that lovely wedge pattern, came off the bottom. Today's a bit weak in Solana, no real reason. And it just feels like the next move is, the ripening of the bananas.
Raoul, the CEO of Real Vision, predicts Bitcoin and Solana are set for massive price surges in the current market cycle, and he's got reasons to back it up. In a recent podcast, Raoul expressed his bullish outlook for Bitcoin and Solana, citing their historical price action as a key factor in his optimism. Powell focuses on a pattern in Bitcoin's market behavior. He notes that Bitcoin often rallies between 70% to 200% when its volatility drops to around 20%. This suggests Bitcoin usually experiences low volatility before a strong upward movement. Similarly, Powell observes a pattern in Solana. When Solana's volatility decreases to about 50%, it typically experiences a major rally. Recently, Solana bounced off a wedge pattern, a positive technical sign indicating a potential trend reversal or continuation. We will now bring you clips of the video. Please take a little time to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for your daily dose of crypto news. We hope you enjoy.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
I think we finished the consolidation period. It's very typical around the halving time, the election cycle. It usually does this and usually finishes in July, maybe August. We also, don't forget, if you look at FedNet liquidity, it collapses into the end of every quarter. So that's as people the banks window dress their balance sheets. So we saw FedNet liquidity come off very sharply. Today should be the last day, and then it gets rebuilt again. So whether that affects assets as well, even though it's quite well flagged in advance, possible. But overall, I think the price structure of what everything looks like, it looks like we hit the base. Solana, I'm looking at the chart. Solana in April, we came down to just below 120, came to 118. We then rallied up, back down, formed this wedge, perfect pattern. My guess is we just go up from here. I wrote about this in Global Macro Investor a couple of months ago. My view here is the same as Arthur's, who's also a GMI subscriber, but I think we're being set up by the BOJ for a nice spectacular bit of shenanigans. BOJ are very clever at what they do. They've been manipulating FX markets forever, and everybody loses money trying to fight them. My guess is they're sucking in the last positioning now. The Chinese need money too. The Japanese banks are the Eurodollar market. They're the largest participants in the Eurodollar market now. They're short of dollars, which was the point.
Yeah.
Somewhere, the US is going to give them infinite line to be able to intervene. And that will flow back through the banks, both into treasuries and also to China, who desperately need the dollars. And the Fed don't want to give them a direct liquidity line. So if there's a source of instant shocking liquidity that can come, the most perfect setup would be the Fed cut and the Japanese intervene. That would just nuke everybody. And I've seen the Japanese do this many times before, and they tend to do it with the approval of the Fed, because that way you get bang for your buck. We know that Yellen's been in China twice. So, Yellen is the world's biggest bond salesman, well, junk bond salesman. She's the Mike Milken of the era. She used to sell those bonds, and the Chinese are saying, we ain't got no dollars to buy your bonds with. It's a really simple equation. And it's like, okay, let's figure this out. How can we get you dollars so you can allow your property developers and everybody else to pay their dollar interest debts, and you can recycle it into treasuries? And I think it's via Japan. Generally speaking, the market's fixated in dollar yen's going to 200, 300. Oh my God, it's collapsing. They've lost control. Okay, so that's where the current narrative is. And people expect intervention at some point soon. They're waiting for it. It's really going to be about the size of intervention, because if they go big, it shows they've got the backing. And then you'll see it, whether it's versus the foreign central bank reverse repo or via the swap lines or whatever the mechanism is. Don't forget, a lot of the time they try and hide the mechanisms as well.
That's what I mean.
So it's really the size that they go in. If one day we come in and dolly ends down 1.5%, and then it happens again the following day, it's on.
Yeah,
and that's just a net injection of liquidity into the system in massive size from the Japanese. These kind of things, there's RSI divergence. It's all kind of stacking up to the BOJ actually use technical analysis. They're pretty good at doing this kind of stuff as well. So let's see. But the dollar is too tight, and it reminds me quite a lot of 98. Was it 97, 98, where everybody was long dollar yen. I mean, in gigantic size, one of the biggest trades the world had ever seen. And the Japanese intervened. Everyone was like, yeah, no big deal. And then the thing utterly collapsed. I mean, Tiger Management, all of these guys got completely carried out, apart from Paul Tudor Jones managed to get it right. I think Van Eck are just planting a flag. I think they want to get some feedback, figure out what is possible, what's not. I don't think anybody expects it to happen instantly, but it just shows the direction of travel, I think. Could it be a 2025, 26, 27 event? I mean, we don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's this year unless the regulatory regime changes. The other thing we need to think about is, obviously after last night's debate, the probability of Biden being swapped out is extremely high. So who is that going to be, and how's that going to impact our playing field here? It feels that Newsom is the one that's being positioned, but who the hell knows? Could be anything. Newsom being California, probably pro-tech in a more meaningful way. I think the Biden administration has managed to lose all of the big tech founders to Trump, which is an extraordinary. They're all Democrat voters, and they've all gone to the other side. Newsom, maybe he can pull them back. Because don't forget, it was Newsom who was organizing Xi to come and meet them in California. That's a whole other story. But there's I don't know. That's the thing we all need to think about, is what's the probability that Newsom is pro-crypto.
Powell believes the Bank of Japan, or BOJ, is preparing for significant market intervention. Historically, the BOJ has been adept at manipulating the FX markets. He suggests that the BOJ might be setting up for a large-scale intervention, possibly with the backing of the Federal Reserve, to provide liquidity to Japanese and Chinese banks. Powell suggests that if the BOJ intervenes massively in the dollar-yen market, it would inject substantial liquidity into the system. This could be a coordinated effort with the Fed, particularly before the U.S. elections, to prevent negative market impacts. Additionally, Powell notes recent positive developments for Solana, including the launch of instant transaction services and ETF filings. He believes Solana, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum, has likely bottomed and is set for significant gains. Finally, Powell is optimistic about Solana and believes it will lead the market alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. He expects Solana to outperform based on its strong technical patterns and recent developments. Now, let's get back to video.
I'm putting out a video, probably go out today, which was just showing all of the relative things that I'm looking at for this. Why I think the trade is on. And the Solana Bitcoin chart is super clear. It's a beautiful stair-step consolidation. Same with the ETH one. So again, they all hit the bottom of the wedge, triangle, channel, all of the relative continuation patterns. Goes higher. And if it does, then we've got another big outperformance to come from Solana. So I just think, if the space is going to get liquidity, the further out the risk curve gets more. Solana's got all the narrative and a real huge amount of traction. And we still haven't got Fire Dancer out yet. So there's a lot here. I think it's very difficult to beat Solana this cycle. Just super difficult. Even if ETH manages to find a massive use case, it's suddenly, YouTube is being tokenized on Ethereum. It's still going to be very difficult to beat the narrative and the momentum that's currently behind Solana. So global liquidity has been flat. That tells us no new liquidity. The business cycle hasn't really turned positive. That tells you earnings aren't being reinvested, or people aren't making money. So you're kind of stuck in this no man's land for now, and the next one will be the ETH ETF. So that'll be new money into crypto land, and then we can all play with that money for a bit. It's basically how it is. We need to think of it is this is a crypto land economy. And for crypto land economy to grow, we need foreign direct investment or even hot money flows. Either way, we need fresh capital in. The liquidity cycle finishes around the summer, i.e. peaks. But many times, usually, the crypto market doesn't peak until the end of the year. So could it peak earlier? I don't know, and I don't want to play for that. One thing just about the rate cuts is we don't need rate cuts for this. It's liquidity that drives it.
Right.
Rate cuts are actually a delay on the liquidity that happened ages ago. So if we go back to 1994-5, we had the big hike in rates, the bond market freaked out, everyone thought we were going to go into recession. We didn't have a recession. The Fed cut in 95, 25 basis points, then a 50. Rates were still miles higher than the low from 1993. And the Fed was on hold until 1998, until the Asian crisis. That was the strongest period of outperformance in market history. So I just like stability is fine, as long as there's liquidity. All of our forward-looking stuff just says the business cycle improves from here. And so there's a bit of chopping around, a bit of noise. Everything says it improves, which is kind of what we should expect into macro summer. We don't need it to go lower. We don't need it to do anything. It's been below 50 for a long time now, one of the longest periods ever, much like the yield curve has been inverted. So, no, I think it gets stronger, and that's a good thing. It brings earnings back into the economy. Those earnings get recycled into crypto. When people are feeling more secure in their jobs and all of that, and they're earning a bit more, or their local businesses earning more, money gets recycled. So, yeah, I'm just positive on that.
What do you think about Raoul Pal's predictions for Bitcoin and Solana? Do you agree with his analysis? Also, do you think the BOJ's potential intervention will significantly impact the cryptocurrency market? Why or why not? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section and continue the discussion. If you found today's video informative and would like to receive more updates on crypto and global finance, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and enabling post notifications for your daily dose of crypto news. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. For more Daily Dose Crypto News, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.